Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today, I'm going to present my group mini project titled Students Learning Analytics. My name is NABILAH and I will represent my team members MOHAMED Nur HAKIM, Amirul Husni and IRDINA for this presentation. Academic performance is one of the most important determinants of a student's future success. It's an educational result that indicates how far students, teachers, and educational institutions have progressed towards their educational objectives. In order to attain optimal academic performance, students' motivation and behavior are equally significant factors in determining their academic achievements. Motivation energizes, drives, and sustains behavior. It starts students moving, directing them in a certain goal, and keeping them going. Students' motivation is the element that influences students' behavior towards learning process. Moving on to the objectives of this project, there are 3 objectives to be achieved in this data analysis. Our first objective is to investigate the relationship between students' motivation and their academic performance. Our second objective is to analyze whether students' behavior affects their academic performance. And our last objective is to identify students' profile that contribute to their motivations. For this project, we come up with 2 pages of dashboard. Let's go through the description of each dashboard. As you can see in page 1, there is a title stated on top of the dashboard, which is Students Learning Analytics, with a subtitle below that states Analysis of Students' Academic Performance based on Motivations and Behavior. There are 5 number cards that show the total number of students, total number of female students, total number of male students, the number of states involved, and the number of students programs included. On the top right of the dashboard, there are 2 filters that are available for the users. There is a filter of gender, where users can choose which gender they want to analyze. There is also a filter of field of study, where users can choose which programs they want to analyze. In this page, we include 7 charts. The charts are arrayed from left to the right, and the same goes for the second row. Next, we move to page 2. In this page, basically describing the second and third objectives. We can see that there are 2 filters included in this dashboard, gender and field of study. Users can select the gender or field of study that they want to analyze. We include 6 charts for objective 2 and 3 charts for objective 3. The charts are read from left to right, and same goes for the second row and third row. The target user is a specified group of people who need to communicate with data, whether they do so on a daily or infrequent basis. The Ministry of Education Malaysia is the dashboard's intended user. Based on an analysis of students' academic performance, this dashboard will be valuable in assisting the government with education initiatives. There are 16 charts in total which have been used in this project to visualize the dataset. It consists of various types of charts such as line chart, Sankey chart, bar chart, and column chart. Each chart has its own purposes. Let's begin with the first chart. The title of the first chart is CGPA based on programs. Its purpose is to portray CGPA trends based on students' programs. The second chart is safety physiology. Its purpose is to show the students' safety physiology in their motivation. Next, the third chart is titled Self-Esteem, which is used to display self-esteem linked students' program and their evaluation in self-esteem. The title for the fourth chart is Self-Actualization. It is used to convey the student's self-actualization by the evaluation and students' program. Moving on to the fifth chart, which is titled CGPA based on safety physiology. Its purpose is to determine the relationship between academic performance and safety physiology. The sixth chart, titled CGPA based on self-esteem, is used to determine the relationship between a student's self-esteem and their academic performance. Next, The seventh chart is titled CGPA based on self-actualization with the purpose of identifying the academic performance based on the self-actualization of the students. Moving on to the eighth chart, which is behavior that is used to show the percentage of students' behavior rating in 5 classification of it. The next chart is orderliness, where its purpose is to identify the CGPA based on the rate of orderliness. For chart 10, which is diligence, the purpose of this chart is to identify the CGPA based on the rate of diligence. Next, the chart is social, that is used to identify the CGPA based on the rate of social. Moving on to chart 12, which is an active co-curriculum. This chart is used to identify the CGPA based on the students' activeness in co-curriculum. Next is chart 13, sport and physical activities, used to identify the CGPA based on the participation in sport and physical activities. For chart 14, CGPA based on state of residence, the purpose is to show which state has a good and bad students' performance. Moving to chart 15, CGPA based on internet access quality, the purpose is to show whether the internet quality affects the students' CGPA. For the last chart, which is chart 16, CGPA based on household income, the purpose is to show whether the household income affects the students' CGPA. Now, I will demonstrate how to use the dashboard and interact using the filter. We have 2 types of filters that allow users to select the type of gender or the field of study that they want to analyze. I will show the example in dashboard page 1. If the user select male, all the chart except 3 Sankey chart in this dashboard will show the information of male students only. The chart changes as shown. We move to the findings of our mini projects. Based on data visualization, it is found that there is a relationship between these 3 charts: CGPA based on safety physiology, CGPA based on self-esteem, and CGPA based on self-actualization, since they are all motivations for students, indicating that there is a connection. This can be seen where a notable trend is observed based on the 3 charts displayed, where the majority of the students rated the motivations as good or very good, indicating a pattern. This demonstrates that most of students can maintain high motivation levels when enrolling in a variety program. This shows that students are paying attention and comprehending what they are learning, which might lead to improved academic performance in their future. High CGPA ranges can be attained if pupils have a strong motivation inside themselves. This dashboard has looked at 3 sorts of motivation: self-actualization, self-esteem, and safety physiology, which display the most students can control their motivation in very excellent condition even though they are enrolled in diverse programs of study. Students' behavior influences their highest CGPA. Students' behavior examined in this dashboard is classified into 5 categories: orderliness, diligence, social, active co-curriculum, and sports and physical activities. Students that are well organized, put in additional effort in their studies, have great social skills, and confine their extracurricular interests to sport and physical activities will surely obtain a high CGPA. For recommendation, the researcher of the future study should include students' length of study time period in order to evaluate the difference in academic performance between students who study for long periods of time and their counterparts who study for short periods of time. That's all from me. Thank you. Assalamualaikum.